Welcome to the Hope College Orange and Blue Athletics Podcast. My name is Alan Babbitt, Sports Information Director here at Hope College. It's been fun this school year to have a chance to chat with our Hope College coaches and staff and get to know the people behind who are leading, behind the scenes leading Hope Athletics through certainly an interesting year. With me today is head women's lacrosse coach and equipment manager Keagan Pontious. Keagan's been very busy. Trying to, as she's made the transition with the new being the equipment manager this semester, and then also getting ready for lacrosse this spring. Welcome to the podcast, Keagan.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alan. I'm pumped to be here.
Obviously, exciting time with getting ready to play lacrosse as we're recording this. Just about a week away from that first scheduled match here on campus against Calvin. What does having that opportunity mean to you and this team to, you guys got a few matches in, it was your first year as a coach, and then, COVID happened and put everything on hiatus. So how would you describe excitement, or what would be the word you use?
Yeah, I mean, definitely excitement. This season definitely means a lot to our team where, something was taken away from us last season, and we all, I think, had to take a step back and reflect and realize like how much our team grew together as a family. And then also just that they realized they had so much passion for this game. And I'm not so sure that would have came out of it if they, we had seasons. So we learned valuable lessons where just especially for this year, like you have to play for every single day and every single game because, like COVID, it's sensitive time where you could be quarantined tomorrow and you have no idea. So definitely, like, we're very excited. I don't think that I've ever seen so much excitement in my girls, actually. So that's awesome.
And then for you as a coach, I mean, excited, your first season as a coach, and then boom, for yourself, how have you kind of managed that, everything, just dealing with, those emotions? Because I know you were excited to be working with the team and get into a competitive setting with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like my life motto or whatever you want to say is like, I'm positive in every single situation. I think that you have to be. And so that was me trying to figure out how to, work through that as a coach and mentally, especially just like, yeah, I was so excited for that first season to kind of prove myself and allow the girls to, I guess, respect me. I mean, I know they did, but I think that it would have been great to have a season. But I mean, 1 year late, it's okay. We can still do the same thing this year. So I'm definitely excited. But I mean, I think that it's honestly been a blessing to grow maybe for another year for myself and then Gunnar on our coaching staff and just grow with our team. So I mean, I can't complain. I think it is what it is, and we've actually had lots of positives out of it. So
I know part of that, and there's different ways you can look at it, whether it's a challenge or, describe it as an opportunity. But, obviously with things disrupted in terms of school and then practice and how often a large team and managing getting together, how have you tried to continue to build that team culture and that camaraderie that obviously is very important when you get to playing games?
Yeah. Again, I think one of our biggest things and where like I hold myself accountable to it or try to anyways is like, again, just finding a positive out of every situation where, like, and it takes a while. And sometimes it's definitely hard for some instances when like last season, it was canceled completely. Like it's hard to find positives out of that. But I mean, so our team culture, I'd say right now is just built on finding that positive and having no excuse for poor attitudes, even in a tough situation. So that's something that we focus on every day and that we show up for practice. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Like we get to play today. We can run around today. Like this is what you guys live for. So even just finding those little positives before, they come into practice and maybe they had a tough day at school or something. It's just trying to stay positive any way we can. And then, yeah, like I said, not having an excuse to not find that positive.
Now, obviously, and lacrosse is used to getting prepared. I mean, outdoors here in the winter, it's going to be cold, it's going to be snowy. And I mean, I know we fortunately have an outstanding grounds crew here at Hope that makes, practice conditions and game conditions the best that they possibly can be. But with the pandemic, what adjustments have you had to make in terms of, practice and getting them and taking advantage of the time that you do have together?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that we've learned and that I realized that we needed to do, and it was honestly, again, a blessing in disguise out of the pandemic, because we got to focus on our stick skills. And that's something where, like, I think and I knew as a player it was super important. And as a coach, like, now I've started to see, like, you can't play this game unless you can catch and throw very well. And that's what we've kind of, as a staff, just drilled into these girls' heads, where, like, even if we're inside and we're playing wall ball for 30 minutes every practice, like, we tend to do that because they're getting 500, 600 reps in. And that's something that you would never do in a practice outside because, well, normally we don't have a wall, but also, like, you don't want to waste time doing that. And so it's been a blessing, and it's something where, like, our stick skills have gotten so much better from it. So that's something we've changed and maybe not necessarily would have done if we were outside and, sitting in the cold and trying to focus. But so it's been good. I think, yeah, we can't complain again just from being inside. We get a lot done.
Tell us a little bit more about this team. Obviously, you have some really good players returning, some new players as well. The MIAA preseason coaches poll, the coaches thought of you guys enough to put you atop a very competitive, field in the MIAA. Just what do you see as this team's strengths, and as far as and also some areas that you're really focused on continually to improve as will go throughout the season?
Yeah. So, I mean, just from reflecting on last year a little, like, we only lost two seniors and they were two great defenders for our team. But, like, only losing two is, again, like, a blessing, where this year we still have 10 seniors actually back on our team. And that's something where, like, our leadership is awesome right now. I cannot complain. And, like, even, I mean, we voted captains the other day, and, we didn't even need them. Like, we have every single kid that's stepping up in their own way and realizing, like, hey, I can, connect with this freshman or this underclassman, and there's 10 of them. So it allows us to honestly grow together a little bit better. But I think one of our big things that we've been focusing on is to allow them to, go through practice. And it's been a year since we played. And so us making a situation of, like, hey, we are under pressure now. Like, we weren't under pressure really last year. And especially being, like, voted, like you said, number one in the conference, where, there's a little bit of a target on our back, but also it's good. And we need to figure out how to handle that pressure. So that's us in practice, setting up situations of, like, we're counting how many drops we have, because that means it's a turnover if it's a drop. And so allowing them to realize that, like, hey, this is serious, and people are looking, and we have to prove now that we do deserve to be on top, and we've worked hard to get there. So we just gotta, I think, keep rolling and make sure that we understand that we really haven't done anything in a year, but we're getting there. And, like, we just have to keep working. We can't just look at that poll and say that we're going to be there. It comes with hard work.
With your team, and how do you want Hope Lacrosse to play on the field? Particularly, I mean, obviously offensively, as you try to put the ball in the net, and then defensively as well, to try to keep other teams out. What are your kind of philosophies, for the Flying Dutch?
Yeah. So on attack, we definitely have been working on attack. I think this year, even more than last year, we have a lot of different girls that are threats, and that is awesome. For us, it's going to be making sure that all those threats are working together at the right time. And so, like, we've been loving to kick the ball back to X behind the cage and then find a cutter in the middle who just basically has a layup and just quick sticks it into the net. We've been looking to do that just with a lot of our girls having the vision to see, their teammates in the middle and make that feed pass. And then also, like, I think that we're going to do well, still trying to drive 1v1s on attack and stuff. But our biggest thing this year is to be dynamic. And we want to make sure that if a team tries to stop us in 1v1s, like we want to make sure that we can still score off of feeds. So just, having a big toolbox is definitely what we're looking for on attack. And then defensively, our biggest thing and something that we've been talking about at practice actually a lot is we're only as strong as our weakest link. And so if you want to turn your head as a defender and watch your teammate get beat, like we're going to not be successful. So we've been working on playing as a unit and making sure that we're talking as a unit and realizing that like every single person matters on defense. So help each other out and have each other's backs, because that's the only way that we're going to be successful.
As we mentioned earlier with the preseason poll, you guys received first place votes. Albion and St. Mary's received first place votes and very close together at the top of the poll. What do you, obviously with limited knowledge based on we haven't seen anybody in a year, but from what you know, and I'm sure have studied, what do you expect this league to be like as you guys try to pursue a league championship?
Yeah. I think it's honestly going to be a dogfight. I think that every single team, deserves to have some success in their areas. And I think that it's going to be like every team having a unique style of play. And, we're looking to push fast breaks this year and play really fast through transition, because I think our stick skills are good enough. But, those other teams might slow it down because every single possession is going to matter during this spring season. And so I think, again, like I said, it's going to be a dogfight literally every single game. And there's not hard feelings from last season, but I mean, the season before, like my girls are fired up and ready to go and not let anybody beat us. So we'll see what we can do.
You had a very decorated career as a college lacrosse player. Let's go back before that. When did you get introduced to the game of lacrosse? And how did it become a sport that obviously has grabbed you and you're now making a career out of it?
Yeah. So I actually remember in 8th grade, it was my gym teacher who was at the time Ralph Shefferly, and he ended up being my coach for many years. But he gave me a stick and he said, "All right, Keeg, show me, or like figure out how to throw it against the wall." And I think that should have been easy, and it was not easy. So that's just kind of how it started. And then as a player, just going through high school, like studying the game as much as I could and trying to, I think, the most intriguing part to me was that you could be so good with your stick and like have so many different movements that you may have never thought of. And then we would, watch an East Grand Rapids play because I was from Caledonia, and like they were throwing behind the back passes. And I'm like, wow, I've never done that. And so it's just such a great game to realize that like you can only keep getting better. There's really no plateau with it. And I think that's the intriguing part about like being the coach now and kind of going into that role. And yeah, it's awesome to watch, and it was awesome to play for that matter.
Has the adjustment been easier to coaching from playing? There's obviously there's a big difference between being on the field and being able to be directly controlling the action and then being off the field trying to guide. So how's that transition been for you?
Yeah, I think that has actually been the hardest part, and I think that is the reason that is because, the stuff that came naturally for me, just like I was left-handed. And so stuff I took the draw in college, and now here, like it took me a long time to figure out how to teach my girls how to take the draw properly, because there were just things that I didn't realize came kind of easy to me that now I'm like, oh, I have to figure out how to teach that. So, the parts in college where I maybe thought things were easy, like they're the hardest things for me to coach. So, and that's just because maybe I studied it more as a player and didn't really realize I was maybe teaching myself or like trying to just figure it out. And now I have to figure out a way to teach it better. So that transition has definitely been hard. But I think just working through and like even with Coach Gunnar Elder, like it's nice to just talk lax IQ and make sure that we're both on the same page and have that. And I love studying it as a player where it could have been like one little difference that I could have made as a player and that changed, my style of play or my game. And I think that's a great thing where now I can coach and watch my girls do that. And it might be me changing one piece of their game that allows them to open up a whole different level of their play. And so that's the fun part, but it's definitely hard to, study it and learn it and then figure out how to guide them and teach it. So.
Well, much like your assistant coach, Gunnar Elder, who was a standout here on the men's lacrosse team, you were quite the capable goal scorer. Your senior year, you earned All-America third team honors from the Intercollegiate Women's Lacrosse Coaches Association, 58 goals as an attacker, and helped your alma mater, Seton Hill, get into the NCAA tournament. Thinking back on your college career, what stands out to you as a favorite memory, and how did it impact and shape you, as the adult that you are now?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say that, for my playing career, it's definitely the memories are just playing with the people, your best friends. And I think that, right, like I still talk, a lot of my friends are now college coaches as well. And it's so nice because, I call them up and ask for team bonding ideas, stick work ideas, like plays and stuff, or what they run for defense. And so that to me is like memories that you can't ever lose. And like, you just keep building on, which is amazing. And I didn't really know if I was going to have that or not. And so, yeah, I think just playing with fantastic athletes and other people around me that wanted the same success and goals that I had in my head, and they were all on board. And so I'd say that the best memory I would have had was, getting into that NCAA game. I remember us all sitting in a room and like a watch party basically to hear our name be called. And like, I think tears ran down my face the day that we got our names called. So no, that was an amazing experience and, something I'll never forget, but also like something that I want to bring here. Like these girls, work so hard, and it was amazing to be in that role as a player, getting called to a national championship, and how many teams get to go, right? So it's an honor and something that I definitely want these girls here to realize that it's something we can do.
How much did you know about Hope College? Obviously from being Caledonia and West Michigan, I'm obviously sure you heard of it. Did you have any kind of connection to Hope that when the job became open that you're like, hey, I want to give this a shot?
So, my mom's an alum and she forced me to say that in my interview just because she thought it would get me an in. But
moms are like that.
She obviously was very fond of it. And I think, I've heard of it. I had connections a little bit here where like Kim Vincent and I actually coached club or like against each other at, different summer leagues and stuff. So that was something where I knew that she had done a great job with this program before, and just hearing that she was going to retire, perked my interest because obviously being from West Michigan, like it was great to come back after being away in Pennsylvania for 5 years. And now coming back, it was really nice. But I mean, I think that was the only thing that maybe, was an in for me, was that I reached out to her and thought, she's got some great kids here. And I'd known some of them just from playing, or they were after me a few years in high school. Like we have Caledonia kid, Carly Peary. And then, I knew some other surrounding high schools that also, like Laurel Fredrickson was from Lowell, and like pretty sure I played against her at some point in my high school career, my senior year. So yeah, it was something that was just being able to coach kids or girls from my same area is something that interested me for sure.
And then starting this semester, you added a new role following the retired Gord Vander Yacht as equipment manager and overseeing, all the things that go involved with making sure our student athletes are, have the correct practice and game attire and cleaned and all those good things. Just take us through kind of first that job and what you oversee and do, and then also what it's meant to, follow. Obviously, Gord was an institution here and did a great job and set, kind of like Kim, set a great foundation for you coming into this role.
Yeah. I think it's definitely been interesting just because, again, like you said, I have some big shoes to fill. And, Gord's the type of guy who did it for so long. There's no written manual for what he does or did. And so I was walking into something where I tried to work with him as much as possible before he was gone and just learn the ropes. But I mean, it was great to, kind of see what he did in the behind the scenes. And I think the biggest and best thing about this role is that what he did for so many years and what I plan to continue is just that the little things matter for our student athletes, like, how their jerseys are hung up in the correct order in their lockers, or like the name tags, the name plates that are saying their last name so that they feel that they're valued here, and, how their laundry loops are coming out of the laundry, or like that stuff's clean, I just think it's important. And I think that us sharing with them that we care and that, we take value in that, and the little things being done right is important in this role. And that's kind of what I keep hoping to do, and just show them that, we're here. Our athletic department definitely supports our student athletes. And so being in this role, I plan to help continue that.
And obviously, as you alluded to, a great team effort. I know you have, Chris Schelt helping you, and then also just kind of that philosophy. Is that something you kind of saw quickly right away, that philosophy for the athletic department here? We just try to do the little things and take care of everyone, and that just kind of an easy thing to step in and be part of that team?
Yeah, I mean, I have some great role models here, right, that I work side by side with basically every day now. And like, that's Tim Schoonveld and Lindsay, and even Courtney Cust and Caroline as our athletic directors. But they just, Tim will walk down the hallway and just ask the simple questions of, how are you doing? Like, how are you doing really? And like, how's your team doing? And those little things matter, and to ask. And it's not about whether or not like the jerseys got hung up today or what, it's matters about how you're doing as a human being. And so that's something that I think was definitely easier to step into a situation where like everybody kind of cares about how you're genuinely doing, rather than just running around and doing their own thing. So that's been easy to, just step in and realize there's some great people around me. So it made it a little bit easier.
Well, good. Welcome. We're glad to have you on the team, and I appreciate you spending some time. I know it's a busy schedule for you as well. So, but we look forward to watching the Flying Dutch on the lacrosse field here very soon, and hopefully often this spring.
Oh, yes, definitely. February 20th is coming soon. So
thanks, Keagan.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and we'll look forward to having soon. We'll be talking to some more spring coaches, including Michael Shaynalls from the men's lacrosse team, hopefully next here on the Orange and Blue Hope Athletics podcast. Thanks, everyone.